Welcome back to Gooseberry Homestead. Reba here. So I'm out here and we're taking a look at the peach sorbet blueberry, and we're going to do a quick taste testing. And right up under here we've got a ripe blueberry. I noticed it last night, but I wanted to wait till today to try it. So this is how it's looking. Go ahead and pick it, and then you can see how it looks. So we'll do a quick taste testing. All right. Oh, wow. I like the flavor of this one. So I would give it about a 4 for sweetness. I will give it a 4 for size. It's about a medium sized blueberry. Again, this is a young blueberry plant right here. And so probably next year the blueberries might be a little bit bigger. But yeah, and then for flavor, I'll give it a 5. It has a really good flavor. Now, I also just brushed my teeth, so it kind of made the flavor taste a little bit different. But based on what flavor I did get, I'm giving it a 5. It's a really pleasant flavor. This one's called Peach Sorbet, and it goes through a transition of different colors, as you can see, from green to a reddish color, then to a blue, a dark blue. So that's how this is looking. I'm going to go ahead and put that back around, kind of keep it protected from the robins. So let's come down here and check and see how the jelly bean's doing. I think there's one in here. It's not quite ready yet, but we can take a peek and see how things are looking. So it's getting close. In a day or so we'll do a video on this one. And while I have you guys for a moment, I wanted to go ahead and just take a look and show you what I'm doing with the raspberries and the blackberries. So yesterday and the day before, I was doing some downsizing. I got rid of one of the raspberries that I had here, and I'm in the process of selling this blackberry. This one is the Marionberry, and it has decent flavor, but the thorns are killer. They're like a rosebush thorn. And I know there's some other varieties that are bred to be thornless that are like ancestors of the Marion. And I actually had a dream about one of them. I had gotten some of them for my sister-in-law. They're called like the Columbia Star and so forth. So there's 2 different varieties that are baby offspring bred at a university, I think down in Oregon. And so Columbia Star, and there was another one, I can't remember it off the top of my head, but I do have it on my computer backed up, so I know what the other one is too, but I just can't remember it off the top of my head. But Columbia Star is one of them, and so that one is a thornless variety, and so I'm really liking the thornless varieties for my garden. Now, I picked up a Loganberry last year. This one is it here, right here. And all the berries had already ripened on it. And it was advertised as a black raspberry. And it really doesn't get as black as it shows here. This actually shows you some black raspberries on this right here. But the berries on this bush look nothing like the picture that they have depicted, at the store. This ripens to a darker purplish red color, and it doesn't have, like on raspberries, it has that like dip inside where it comes off clean like a cone. This takes after the blackberries more, and it doesn't make that concave inside. It doesn't pull away like that. It stays intact, more like a blackberry. So a little bit of false advertisement for a lot of the box stores who purchased these berries last year to sell, and this year as well. So just know that when you get your Loganberries, blackberries or raspberries, that it's not going to look like what they're trying to advertise in the box stores. So, but it is a very good berry. It tastes more to me like a raspberry than a blackberry. So that would explain why it's categorized in the raspberry category. But then again, the shape on the inside is more of that of a blackberry, with the way it pulls away from the plant when you harvest. So there is that to keep in mind. I do really, really love it. That's why this one is staying in my collection. This one is a thornless variety, which I absolutely adore. So that is great. And then again, right here next to it, I have a polar berry, and it is a wild white blackberry variety, and I have some new stalks that grew up. And what I've done here is at the very bottom down here, you see all these little leaves all over the place. I cut off all the leaves and I stuck them into the ground to try to see if the old wood will actually send up roots and new branching. So it's still summertime here, so I figured, you know what, there's a chance they could root as long as I keep them watered and keep the soil moist and that sort of thing, and they have the warmth to create roots. There's a possibility. I know not all of them will take, but there might be a chance that one or two might take. So I'm going off of those one or two chances of actually getting some rootage going on down in the containers. I did that with the majority of the raspberries in my garden as well, because I want them to put up more stalks so I can get a little bit more fruit in my containers. So right here, like I said, I have the polar berry. It did not set any fruit out this year, even on the older branches. So I went ahead and cut those up. The older branches, stuck them down there to try to see if they would root. And I did the same thing with this one here. We got a lot of growth on the variety. This is called Snowbank. I got some little plants last year from Baker's Creek, and those are still really small. And I had a lot of die off on those, and they're still very tiny. So some of those are down in here. So the ones with the leaves that you see down there, those are all from Baker Creek. And then I cut all the leaves off of the ones I'm trying to root down in here from the old growth from this one from last year. So I'm trying to do the same thing with this one here. So this is the Snowbank, created by Burbank himself in his growing system. So that's how this is looking. Got a lot of growth on it, so I'm excited. Hopefully next year we'll see some blossoms on it, so I'm excited for that. And then moving on, right here we have the Heritage, and I'm really, really excited about this. I got this from Tractor Supply, and this was the new growth. All of this is the new growth from this year from down there. And I think I cut off the old growth and stuck that down in the ground, but this came up from new growth, and we've already got blossoms on it. So this is a two-cropper. You get a crop on the new growth in the fall, and then you get a crop in the spring on the old growth. So next year I'll have a spring crop on this part, and then it'll send up some new from the base. So this is really exciting. I cannot wait. So it goes all the way down. We're putting on fruit blossoms all the way down. So there'll be a few fruits, so we'll get to do a taste test on this later on. Maybe I'm thinking next year we'll probably do taste testings on the raspberries that I currently have in the yard. This one is falling away. Raspberry just coming off. And this one's a Tulamine. And the Tulamine is a really great raspberry. I love this one. By far one of my keepers. I got rid of the ones that were that I had traded with for some she traded some. I gave her some gooseberries and she gave me some raspberries, and the flavor on theirs were just kind of blah. The Tulamine has excellent flavor. So this is all last year's growth, all 3 canes, and I only have a small cane part coming up this year. So I really don't want to cut off the canes yet, because I would really love to have more fruit in the future. So I don't know what's gonna happen. I'm kind of sad that I didn't get more growth coming up, but we'll just have to watch this and see. I may need to add some more soil. Some of the roots are showing. And then right here we've got the fall gold. It's looking really great. I did cut off the old bit and stuck it in the ground right here, and from what came from Tractor Supply, and so that's how that's looking. I did the same thing with this one right here. This is the Cascade Gold, and I cut out all the older branches that were kind of spindly and like looked darker, and the new growth is the lighter green colors. And so that's all this year's growth from at least 3 new canes, possibly 4.5 or 3.5. So that's how that one's looking. And this is this year's new growth from this one right here. This is the Cascade Delight, and I've already picked all the fruit off of the old wood and cut that up and put it down in to see if any of it will root and push up any new growth in the future. So that's what I'm hoping for. Whether or not it pushes up new canes this year, I'm not so worried about. I'm hoping that it'll root, and then next spring we'll push up new canes for the following year. So that's what I'm hoping for with me trying to root some of the older growth. Then right here is a Black Jewel raspberry. I got this from M.I. Gardner. I have it in a little container right now. I'll probably end up potting it into this pot that I have it set in. And then right here we have the Royalty Raspberry. We already harvested from it, so I cut that one off because this was the new cane that came up this year, and I will be getting fruit on this next year. And then this is the other Royalty Raspberry that I have, and those are all really, 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 really small. That one was really butchered back. I thought it was completely dead. I didn't see any live roots on it, but lo and behold, it's making a comeback. And then lastly but not least is my wonderful favorite boysenberry. I'd probably have to say the boysenberry is by far one of my favorites. And if I had a choice, I will probably only do boysenberries from this point forward. I don't know if I really will get the black star, or Colombian star, but I might get it just to try to see if I like it. But I'll just wait. My sister-in-law has some, and she'll be rooting hers. I might be able to get some cuttings off of the ones she has, and then we will go from there at a later point. I know she was getting some bigger container pots to put hers in so they don't spread in her yard, because blackberries in the Pacific Northwest can tend to get a little bit out of hand. And we have a ripening blackberry bush back here behind the shed, wild ones, and the flavor on those are really good. So anyways, you guys, and then also down in the bottom here I have a emerald carpet. So it's like a yellow raspberry. Doesn't have a whole lot of flavor, but it's a ground cover. So anyways, you guys, thanks for watching. Comment, like, and subscribe. Click that bell button. As always, have a wonderful day, and love what you grow and grow what you love, and God bless. Bye.